I'm Dale Rankin, an applied climate scientist with the Climate Studies Group MONO, which is resident in the Department of Physics at the University of the West Indies in Kingston. And we're here at the Borders Research Station. This is a very, very important location. We're actually at the nursery for hot peppers, which is a fantastic commodity in Jamaica. And today we want to talk about the impacts and challenges that climate change poses to production. There are three thematic areas that we'd like to discuss. The first of which is climate being our context. As a small island developing state, nearly everything that we do is circumscribed by climate. All the socio-economic activities on which our survival depend are actually sensitive to climate. We think about agriculture, most of our production is rain-fed, so we're very reliant on rainfall. You think about tourism, which actually occurs in our dry season. So when we have drought conditions, it actually affects our tourism product. But you think about where our chief population centers are as well, and they are either located on steep slopes or within low-lying floodplain areas. So that gives us a significant challenge. We cannot wait for all the things to be put in place for us to make a decision about what we are going to do, because all the suggestions are we are going to have more significant challenges moving forward. So we cannot stop at climate being our context and just say we're small, we're susceptible, but we have to recognize that we have a challenge. So now, having discussed the context, we have to move to climate being our challenge. There are four principal ways in which climate change is manifesting itself, especially here in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. They're namely: one, higher surface temperatures. We're seeing an increasing temperatures, both daytime temperatures and nighttime temperatures. Two is increasing rainfall variability. We have droughts, and then we have the cycle of floods, right? And these rainfall extremes create problems, especially for a sector like agriculture. And of course, there's then sea level rise. With sea level rise, what we're actually experiencing is the intrusion of salt water into aquifers, which is then making them brackish. And of course, lastly, we're seeing an increase in the number of severe weather events, or what we call weather extremes. Be it extremes of temperature, be it extremes of rainfall, or the typical one that we experience in the Caribbean, which is hurricanes and other tropical cyclones. And how does that create a challenge for us in respect to hot pepper production in particular? If you think about it, hot pepper is one of those crops that is very sensitive to extreme temperatures. So as the temperatures increase, it calls for significant increases in the amount of water that you actually supply to the crop. So that is a challenge that it is creating. When you superimpose that with drier conditions, or certainly more rainfall variability, that also gives another challenge. Because if you have warmer and drier conditions, then you actually have a situation where you need to irrigate a lot more. But the other challenge is also when you have too much rainfall, it promotes what we call fungal growth, or increasing pest incidence in the crop. And actually that has a negative consequence on productivity. When you think about saline intrusion from sea level rise, that gives another problem, because what happens is that the crop is very intolerant to saline conditions. When you have saline conditions, it results in defoliation of the leaves. It actually results also in fruit drop and in a reduced quality of your yield. And of course, extreme events. Hot pepper is one of those crops that grows above the ground. When you have very strong winds from hurricanes and other tropical cyclones, you end up having destruction of your crops in the field. Whether or not the crops are mature, then that creates another challenge. So we really have to find ways and means to cope with the challenges that climate change is imposing on hot pepper production and in general the agriculture sector. Okay, now climate actually demands change. And one of the things that we have to do is to have systems that is able to improve our production systems. What we're looking at here is a misting system that is actually ensuring that these seedlings are properly watered. And this is very important. And as we move forward in time and we think about climate change and what it is going to do, we're going to have more of these systems to ensure we can combat the negative consequences of increased temperatures. That is critical, because if these seedlings are not properly watered, they have no chance of surviving in the field. And so what we're doing here is actually ensuring that the watering is done at a specific time during the course of the day to ensure that they are properly watered, and at the end of the day, by the time they leave here and are transplanted in the field, they're ready to go. Now, what we're going to do is to examine one of the tools that can help us to deal with coping with agriculture in a changing climate. It's called the FAO AquaCrop Model. What's the name of the model? FAO AquaCrop Model. Great. So it's freely available online. You can download it, right, from Google and from the FAO site. When you download it, you'll come to a page looking like this. Okay? Can everybody confirm with me that you're looking at a computer that has this startup page? Everybody is there? Yes? Yes. Great. So the first thing you're going to do when you come to the startup page, you're going to click Start. So can everybody click Start for me? When you click Start, what you have come to is a page where you can do simulation of crop growth. Okay? Now let me make it clear. Depending on how long you've been using the model, different people will have different levels of information in their model. I've been using it for a long time, so I have files that you don't have. So in order for all of us to be at the same page, I'm going to use a file that everybody has. Okay? All right. Now if you look at the tab, can you tell me the tabs that you're seeing coming from top to bottom? What's the first one? Climate. The next one? Calendar, crop. The next one? Crop. Then we have irrigation. Everybody see that? Yeah. Then field. Then what's the thing on the field? Soil profile. Then we have groundwater. And after we have groundwater, then, ladies and gentlemen, we have the simulation period. So what we're going to try to do is to explain to you what the different tabs stand for. All right? Is that clear with everybody? Yes. Okay. So the first tab that we have here is climate. In this particular case, you want to select a climate. This is saying this is the weather condition of the place where I am farming at. Is that clear? Yes? Yes. All right. So let's choose a climate that everybody has. So I want you to click the drop-down arrow, or just click on the link. And I want you to look at a climate here. You are going to tell me if the climate that I have is the same one that you have. All right? There's a climate called BRU for Brussels Daily Climate Data from January 1, 1976. Once you've clicked on it, right, I want you to click Main Menu. When you click Main Menu, it will select the file and bring you back to the main menu. What we're going to do, having selected a climate, and this climate runs from 1976 to 2000 and what? 5. Excellent. So it's quite a bit of data we have there. All right. Next thing what we're going to do now, I want you to select a crop. Let's select a crop, and I want you to tell me which crop you'd like to grow. Right? We have a number of crops here. So when you click on crop, again, click select, and you tell me which crop you'd like to grow. So I want us to click on potato. Are you seeing 2 potato? Yes. Click on potato GDD. Anybody see GDD there? Yes. Okay, click on potato GDD. Yes? Or once you click on that, what you click to go back? Excellent, students. We don't know yet if we have enough water in this climate. So since we don't know if we have enough water, let us not choose to irrigate yet. When we run the model, we'll see if we have to irrigate. Everybody understands? Yes. So let us choose a soil profile. Now, you are the experts. You are the extension officers. What is the best soil to grow Irish potato in? Let's click on the soil profile. And let's click a soil profile. We have sandy loam, we have silt loam, we have silty clay loam. Which one are we using? Sandy loam is the consensus? Yes. Sandy loam. Okay, so everybody click on sandy loam for me, please. Once you click on sandy loam, how do you go back to main menu? You click what? Main menu. Very good. Now, what we have here is I want you to click on calendar. Just above crop. Anybody see calendar just above crop? Yes. Okay. When you click calendar above crop, you must tell the model when you want to plant. Which day do we want to plant? 30th of March? All right. Our friend over says the 30th. So everybody select the 30th of March. Let's just see what happens if we choose the 30th of March, right? We can always change it afterwards. So what we have here, a situation where we have told the model that we are using Brussels. We are farming, we're going to farm on the 30th, right, of March. Do you now recognize, having selected the 30th of March, it is now telling you when the crop is going to mature? Are you seeing that? What date is it telling us? The 11th of what? July. 11th of July. Excellent. We're now going to run the model. Everybody's with me? Yes. All right. So how you run the model? You just click run. Everybody see that? What we're now going to do, we are going to start the simulation. It's going to run from the start to the end. And if you have done it well, you should get a biomass of 6.870. Anybody getting that? What is your yield? All right, look at me now very carefully. Look very carefully here, folks. Are you seeing dry right here, little thing with an arrow? Yes. Click and change dry to fresh and tell me what yield you get. 25 point what? 321. 25.321. Okay, so listen to what you're going to take the next 5 minutes to do. All right? Without changing anything at all except your soil. We want to see if the soil that we chose is actually the best soil. So don't change anything else. Don't put in any irrigation at all. Everybody's going to choose a different soil. So watch me. Here's how you're going to do it, right? Watch me carefully. You're going to click main menu. Okay, do you see it asking if you want to save the run or exit? Yeah. All right, don't save the run. If you click save the run, what it would do is create a spreadsheet for you that has all the data from day one, when you plant to day whatever, when you actually harvest, telling you every day how much biomass is accumulating, how much yield is accumulating, how much water you're using, every single thing, every single day. But we don't want to save that yet. We want to save our best run. So you're going to click exit the run. Don't save it. Everybody do that? All right. So all you're going to do now is you're going to go back and click your soil profile. And I want each table to select a different soil profile. And let's see who comes up with the best yield. Remember what we got as a yield a while ago, right? Right? So let's see. I am going to choose a different one. And I'm going to go back to main menu and I'm going to run and I'm going to see what I get. I don't think anybody is going to be able to beat my yield, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh no. My yield is now down to 18. Anybody get better than 18? I chose loamy sand. What soil profile did you choose? Clay loam? How much did you get?
29.0.
You're fresh at 29?
Yes.
Wow, that's very good. What soil type did you choose? Very. You did?
We got 24.42.
24? That's good. What did you get here?
31.
30. No, there's somebody better. 31. Whoa. So that's the easy part. What's this model called? AquaCrop. What does the aqua stand for? Water. So what we really want to do, we really want to see what effect water has on this yield. All right? So everybody, remember, don't change the soil now. Eh? Remember what we did a while ago was rain-fed production. Remember that? Yeah. So now we're going to do a little bit of irrigation. We're going to go main menu. We're going to hit exit again. So we don't want to save. And here's what you're going to do. This time you're going to click on the irrigation tab. And this time you want to create an irrigation schedule. So you're going to click select irrigation. Everybody select irrigation, select or create. Everybody see that? Now, there are a number of ways that you can do this stuff. Watch me carefully. We're going to do the same thing, all of us. First, make sure we know what we're doing, and then we'll let you loose. If you click create an irrigation schedule, you would have to tell the model when you want to irrigate. So let me show you. If you click irrigation schedule as the default right there, when you click here, first of all, it asks you what kind of irrigation you want to use. Is it sprinkle irrigation, surface irrigation, drip? Which one we're using? Drip. How much percent we're going to cover? 100? Excellent. 100%. Okay. So that is what you call the irrigation method. Now on this, to the right of irrigation method, you see something marked irrigation events. Okay, click irrigation events. Because you have clicked an irrigation schedule, you would now have to tell the model when you're going to irrigate, right? Right? So you can put day 1. If you put day 1 there, it automatically says which day that is, right? Because it is indexing based on when you planted. Everybody see that? Yes? So you have day 1, all right? We can get another couple of days and then we can say day 5, for example, right? But you can change the amount you want to put. You see that? It is putting 15 millimeters each day. But if you want to put a different number, you can do so. Everybody's with me so far? Yes? All right. Remember when we did the simulation first, we saw that there was a lot of gray bars. When you see gray bars, it tells you what? The crop is losing too much water. Okay, everybody remember that. All right, we are assuming that the water is excellent, that there's no salt in the water. That is what this thing stands for over here. All right, and we can add as many events. But let us just add another one. Let's go here and let us say we're going to do irrigation on day 15. All right, and on day 15, instead of having 15 millimeters, we are going to add 30 millimeters. What other day you want to irrigate? So far we have gone day 1, day 5, day 15. Anybody give me another number? Day 20, okay, day 20. How much are we adding on day 20? 30 again? All right. We're going to leave it there for the time being, right? This is the hard way to do it, right? I'm going to show you. It's a much easier way. What you're going to do here, you're going to name your irrigation file now. So we're going to call this irrigation file test 1, right? Let's call it test 1 for the time being. And you can just call it FAO training at Bodles. Everybody should have 4 applications. Application 1 being on March 30th. Application 2 being on the 3rd of April. Application 3 being on the 13th of April. And application 4 being on the 18th of April. Once you have done that, go down to the middle bottom of the screen and click create. Now, when you go back to your main screen, you should see that it now has something at irrigation. Are you seeing something at irrigation, the same thing that you named it a while ago? Now I want you to run your model again and see if your yield has improved. My yield has improved a lot. Anybody get a better yield than what you had before without irrigation? You got an improvement? Oh. 0.1 something. You got an improvement? All right. Now, that what we just did would work, Ms. Hortense, if you are the experienced extension officer and you know exactly which day to put the water. But let us say that you're not as experienced, you're not as brilliant as she is, you're as dunce as I am, and you want the model to help you. What we can do is rather than choosing an irrigation schedule, we can say to the model, do not choose an irrigation schedule. This time what I want you to do is do net irrigation. In other words, once water reaches a certain level, just irrigate back for me. And I don't have to have the headache to go find which day it must do it. Are you with me on that? So let me show you how to do that, right? And that's a little easier. So what you're going to do again, you're going to exit, because if you look at my simulation here, you see that I still have a lot of gray areas. Are you seeing that? And most of my gray area is towards the end of the crop life. That means the water I was adding at the top didn't help me. Because where the crop really needs the water is towards the end. All right. So I'm going to go back to main menu. Remember, you just click main menu, click exit. And once you do that, go back to irrigation. When you go back to irrigation, I want you to go select irrigation. And this time, click net irrigation requirements. When you click net irrigation requirements, click create irrigation file. I want you to look at the graphic that we have here, folks. Are you seeing this graphic here? Yes. Okay, this is saying raw doesn't mean it's uncooked. Raw means readily available water. Excellent. Now look at what happens when I change the value from 50. Tell me if the reservoir of water here is increasing or decreasing. Look at it carefully. I'm going to reduce it from 50. Tell me what is happening to the water. Is it increasing or decreasing? It is increasing. So when I do this, I'm giving the crop more water. So what I'm saying to the model is do not let my water fall below 31% of water that is readily available to the crop. Everybody sees that? Yes. So that's one quick way to do it, right? I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to help me. But I'm just saying I don't have the time. I don't have the knowledge. I'm not as bright as Miss Bedward over there. So what we're going to do this time you're going to call this one net irrigation, all right, or net I. And just to give it some context, put 31%. So you know that it was 31% of readily available water. And if you want to be a little bit descriptive here, for example, you could say net irrigation of 31% of RAW. That's all we're doing right now. Okay, click create now and run your model again this time and tell me now if you see any improvement. Whoa, I see a marked improvement in mine. Yes. I am gone ahead of everybody now. My yield is now 33. You get 33? How much you got? 33. Look on my graphic now. Do you see that all the gray areas are gone? Yes. All right. Now listen to me carefully now. The farmer comes to you and tells you, you said to the farmer, I did a simulation and I found that if you increase your irrigation, you will get a better yield. But the farmer is going to say to you that I only have a certain amount of water or money. So now he's saying maybe I can't irrigate so frequently. Right? So you now will have to say, all right, let me run some additional simulation, right? And see, maybe I don't have to go down all the way to 30%. Maybe I could go at 40%. And if the drop off in yield is not so great, then you can say, okay, you don't have to irrigate so frequently. You can do X, Y, Z. Does it make sense? Yes. So here's what I want you to do. Everybody write down the yield that you have right now. Right? Write down the yield that you right now and your biomass as well. And I want you to juggle with this. Go back to irrigation again and see if you can increase it from 30 all the way up to, let's say, 45. Right? Everybody just choose a different random number. And let's see, that means you're irrigating less. And if you're irrigating less, let's see what yield value you're going to get. Because the farmer tells you that he doesn't have so much money. You understand? I don't have so much money to buy the water. So you have to use less water. So you are advising the farmer as the extension officer now to say, okay, you don't have to irrigate so frequently. You can go to maybe 40%. So let's do some juggling now and see. So what the training is now doing is now experimenting with the trade-off between irrigation and yield. Because that is really what is going to determine how much money the farmer makes. Is that clear to everybody? Yes. Okay, thank you so very much. Right? We have so many other applications that we can actually use in this model. This is just a tip of the iceberg, but already you've seen the level of intrigue and interest in all our trainees and our wonderful extension officers. Thank you so very much.